It seems like FaZe Jev is leaking out a bunch of Modern Warfare 3's multiplayer and the Warzone Las Almas map. Let's go through all of the info in today's video. As you guys probably know by now, Sledgehammer has already revealed a bunch of info pretty early on for this year's MP, including all 16 of the launch maps being the OG MW2 maps, which is really cool. New gameplay mechanics such as tac stance, building your loadout with new equipment such as gloves, vests, boots, and more, aftermarket parts, map voting, classic minimap behavior, perks at the start of the game. I mean, they revealed so much info and increased TTK, increased health as well. We usually don't get this much multiplayer info right at the start of a reveal. So already I'm pretty satisfied for now. We will be getting a bigger MP reveal obviously at some point very soon during September. We'll talk about that, and I'll be sure to update you guys when that date releases, and that will be right before the multiplayer beta as well, which is expected to be around the beginning to middle of October. But of course, you guys know what happens is sometimes info gets leaked out a bit earlier than expected and revealed, and even though we already know so much about this year's MP, we don't know everything. And it seems like FaZe Jev apparently is leaking out a bunch of stuff. He's saying in his video that, you know, he already saw this on the internet. It's for everyone to see. I haven't seen any of this. Charlie Intel clearly and other leakers didn't see this as well because they were tweeting out that FaZe Jev leaked this out. So wherever the info's from, doesn't matter. It seems to be very credible here. Let's break down what Jev talked about for multiplayer and then for Warzone. So first off here, he's saying the MW2 maps are 1-to-1 remix, which was kind of already confirmed, but we didn't know for sure what was happening there. But based on some of the early images we've seen and based on other leakers as well, it seems like we're getting the exact same map returning from MW2 2009 into MW3 this year. It's not like, he gives the example, pretty good one, of shipment, where sometimes shipments in different Call of Duties have the same look but are slightly different. Some shipments are a little bigger, some are a little smaller, some of the crates are in different areas, sometimes it's a little off, but these MW2 map remixes seem to look the exact same, at least in terms of the layout and the actual design. Maybe the colors are a lot better, the graphics are a lot better, of course, but everything else is the exact same, which is good to see. But there is one exception, he says. He's saying that there are doors in these MP maps. Now, obviously, doors is a big controversy. I don't know when it was first introduced, but definitely a huge part of Modern Warfare 2019. A lot of those MP maps, especially the launch maps on that game, were filled with doors, and that was something that I personally didn't enjoy too much. It was cool for maybe search and destroy and certain modes, and certain instances it was interesting, but other than that, it just slows down the game overall. When someone's camping in the top floor of a building and they have claymores set up and they have all the doors closed as well, it's just so much more difficult to get to them. It's more difficult to move around the map when you have to open up a ton of doors. It just slows you down overall. So it seems like, again, with Sledgehammer revealing that MW3's MP is going to be faster, you jump over or you mantle over objects a lot smoother as well. You could slide cancel. Everything seems like they're trying to make a faster game compared to MW2 last year, or I guess this year. So it doesn't make sense for them to also add doors as well. Maybe they feel that they're making the game too fast and doors will help to slow it down. I'm not so sure. FaZe Jev, however, he actually said in his video that it's not a big deal. He never complained or cared too much about doors in MP. I think he did admit that there were a lot in MW19, but in MW2 this year, most of the MP maps, I mean, some of them have doors, but the maps that do have doors, they don't have many doors. It's not like there's doors all over the place. There's some in certain areas, but I think in MW2 this year, it's definitely not that bad. And it seems like for MW3, those old maps will have some doors, but it's not going to be like every building has a door. So if that's the case, I guess I'll accept that. It's not a big deal as long as the doors are in super low-key, out-of-the-way areas. If we're talking Favela, for example, MW2, of course, that map could potentially have doors everywhere. You guys know how Favela works. I'll put some gameplay. I mean, there are buildings everywhere, small rooms, small corridors. I mean, that would be a map where IW in MW19 would have put a door at every single point they could. For this year, I could see where some doors would make sense. I could see where some doors might be annoying. My only hope is that, you know, there aren't doors everywhere. Maybe a couple on the outskirts of the map, but overall, don't ruin the flow of the map, don't ruin the actual vibe, and try to make it as similar to what it was back in MW2 2009 as they possibly can. And Jev is saying in his video that, yeah, it's pretty much very similar. Maybe some doors sporadically placed around the maps, but not too bad. So if that's the case, that'll be fine. Now, of course, we know about slide canceling, tack sprint, the new tack stance as well. But what we didn't know about is dolphin diving, and Jev says dolphin diving is returning, which is very interesting as well. I guess that's not too surprising. We have it right now. I mean, you know, it seems like the new meta to have just all types of movement in these games. In the past, it was Treyarch had dolphin diving, and then IW had sliding, maybe a Sledgehammer as well. But now it seems like every game is just going to have both movement methods, so that's cool to see. Dolphin diving, I don't really do too much. We'll see if it's overpowered, if it's good or bad in this game. Who knows for sure, but I guess that's a good thing to see. Good little movement feature just to make things a bit more faster. Another movement mechanic to get out of the way. However you want to use dolphin diving, it seems like it's back in this game, which is cool to see. And now for Warzone as well, this is also super interesting, and this is a big deal as well for zombies, because most likely zombies will be taking place on the Warzone map. So there were some rumors that we would actually be on another desert map, which was kind of annoying because it seems like every type of Warzone area is in the desert. I'm kind of sick of the desert at this point, but it seems like that's not the case. Jev is saying those rumors are wrong. Las Almas, not so sure if he confirmed that it's still in Mexico, but it seems like it's going to be in the Mexico area, in that region, which is a really cool region from the MW2 campaign. If you guys played that campaign, the Las Almas missions were really, really sick. So I'm definitely hyped for that area there. And he said the map is a really good looking map, definitely with some Verdansk vibes there as well, in terms of the grass, the trees, the city with 3 to 4 large towers. Not really a forest, but kind of just like shrubbery around. Barely any sand. There's no giant mountain. I mean, just heavy Verdansk vibes. I'm not saying, or he's not saying it looks like Verdansk, but just the vibes of the map seem to be similar to Verdansk, which is really cool to see. There's also buildings all over the map as well. He talked about how on the map there's barely any giant open spaces like there are on, you know, more recent maps. You know, Almas has some of those huge open areas where if you're caught in the middle, there's barely any cover. I think Caldera had a lot of that as well, actually, in certain areas. I'm kind of forgetting there. Let me know down below. But, you know, this map, really what he said was anywhere you look, there's always something going on, whether it's a little building, a little shack, a little small forest. There's always some type of cover, and you're not going to be caught in the middle of these big, wide areas where a squad can just gun you down. So that's really cool to see. And it's also a really just good looking map as well. It seems like the graphics and the colors are a lot better. I mean, Sledgehammer is always making a different game every year. Sledgehammer doesn't have a one unique style. Vanguard, World War II, Advanced Warfare, all these games are pretty different overall. Obviously, if we talk about the Treyarch and IW comparison, Treyarch games tend to be a bit more colorful, a bit more cartoony looking a little bit, and IW games tend to be a bit more, not monotone, but just the colors are a bit more dull, and maybe the game looks a bit more modern overall. And Sledgehammer maybe is in the middle there, but it seems like here the colors are a lot brighter, a lot more vibrant, which is good to see. And the graphics are still really solid as well. It's a mixture again of, you know, IW games and Treyarch games, which is pretty good to see overall. But overall, that's what Jev talked about in his video. Solid stuff here. I can't wait to see more from this game. Of course, I'll be sure to update you guys once we get more information on, first off, MW3 MP. We're gonna get some gameplay on that very, very soon. I'm hyped to see what that looks like there. And of course, later on, maybe around MP, but probably after, we'll get some info on Warzone. I mean, if you guys haven't noticed, they have barely said anything about Warzone. Last year with COD Next, that event, it was the MP/Warzone reveal. I wonder if they'll do a similar thing this year. Not so sure on that, but I think Warzone is still going to be a big part of this game, because right now Warzone not doing so well, and I think they want a lot of people who played Warzone before to come back to this new map with a new, faster mechanics and make Warzone how it was before, back in 2020, 2021, whatever. We'll see very soon. I'll be sure to update you guys on that. But overall, that's it here for this video. Be sure to check out my partner, Apex Gaming PCs. A bunch of great customizable PCs over there. Great for making videos, playing Call of Duty, stuff like that. Be sure to use code MATTERS if you do end up buying a PC for a pretty good discount. Shipping costs are down a lot. Really great incentives for international customers as well. So be sure to check that out, guys. Links are down below. That's it for this video. Subscribe for more. Shout out to the YouTube channel members as always, and I'll see you guys in the next video or live stream. Peace out, guys.